Welcome in to Lorna Páirce here on WLR, with thanks to PwC Waterford. Tomás McCarthy here till 7 o'clock. Coming up, Déise hurling selector Stephen Frampton and All-Ireland winning manager with Galway Cyril Farrell on Sunday's big match at Welsh Park. There's 2 pairs of passes up for grabs. Camogie star Beth Carton will chat about her 4th Ashbourne Cup medal with UL and Sunday's league clash with Offaly. And Waterford ladies boss Kieran Bennis will look ahead to their local derby against Tipperary. So after Storm Denis wreaked havoc last weekend, the Waterford hurlers are back in action on Sunday as they entertain Galway at Welsh Park in round 3 of the National League. It will be our George Corbett Skoda big match here on WLR. Join Kieran O'Connor and Shane Ahern for commentary from 1:45. Well, to tell us about how preparations are going for Sunday's game, delighted to be joined in studio by Déise selector Stephen Frampton. And Stephen, the Limerick game was postponed twice last weekend, both on Saturday and Sunday. And I believe you're on the bus on Sunday when the news came through that the game was off again. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had to make, when it was called off on Saturday, we had to make arrangements for Sunday, and we had started our journey to Limerick only to be told when we had got beyond Clonmel that the match was off. It was a bit very disappointing, obviously, not to get to play the match, but it was thought poorly handled as well by whoever the powers that be. The pitch inspection was supposed to be held at 9 o'clock, and we were leaving a little bit earlier than that, but we didn't get any word until 10:15. So it was a bit up, we were a bit all over the place, to be honest, on Sunday, but we got a training session in anyway, but very disappointed because we really were up for Sunday, but we'll be up for Sunday this Sunday as well against Galway, and looking forward to the match now.
Yeah, I heard Clonmel kind of helped you out in your hour of need.
They did, to be fair. Liam Cahill has good contacts all around Tipperary, and he called in a favour. So we got a good training session done in Clonmel, and they were very good to us to put the pitch available to us and their alley as well. So we got a nice bit done there, and I suppose it wasn't a complete waste of a day. So that was good. And it'll hold us in good stead, I hope.
Do you think the right decision was made ultimately, albeit belatedly, to call off the game, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I believe it was the pitch was fine. It was fine. The surface of the pitch was fine. It was just the high winds. But I don't know. We were gung ho. We were ready for the match, and there was a great buzz around the panel. From the training the week before, and you look at the Clare match, Clare versus Limerick Laois that went on in Ennis, which was further west, so the wind would have been stronger back there, and it probably made a bit of a mess of the game. But having said that, look, they were able to hurl in it, as were Wexford and Kilkenny down in Wexford Park. So we would have liked to have a go at Limerick. They're the kingpins. They're the team that are kind of flying high and being tagged favourites for everything at the moment. It's very early in the year, but we would have liked to, tested ourselves against them. But look, it's not to be. So we kind of refocus now for Galway this Sunday, and Galway are kind of probably in a similar position to ourselves in that they've won a match, they've lost a match. Well, we haven't lost, but they've lost to Limerick, so they'll be looking to get back on winning terms, and we're trying to continue what we've started with.
Yeah, would you have agreed with Anthony Daly's opinion on Sunday night on RT that maybe there should have been more decisive action, just a blanket ban across the board, because it's very difficult to hurl in those conditions, Steve?
It is. It's hard. It's hard to hurl on the pitches at this time of the year anyway. So you throw in a gale force wind as well in on top of that. It's very, very difficult. And look, it's miserable for the people going to matches as well. I know everybody wants to see hurling this time of the year. We've been without it for a good number of months, but look, I'd say that's for the GA and the fixtures people for another day. But they probably really needed to be a bit more decisive, especially when they saw the yellow warning or whatever, or the orange warning, I think it was in the end, particularly for the West Coast. So they probably should have been a bit more forthright and a bit more just made the decision and leave it at that, you know.
In terms of injuries ahead of Sunday, Stephen, will Austin Gleeson and Jamie Barron be back in contention? I see they were listed on the 26th for the Limerick game.
Yeah, they were listed on the 26th. They're making their way back slowly but surely, and we're not forcing anyone back, and you know, like we want everybody to be as fit as they can, you know, whenever they do tog out. So we're not going to force anybody back too early, and that's the way it has been. And the guys that have played up to now have done very well. So, you know, everybody's got to earn their place on the team as well. And the man in possession of the jersey is in possession of the jersey, and it's up to anybody else to win that back off him. So look, that's the way we're operating, and that's the way we'll continue to operate. And look, you know, hopefully we're going to see the lads, they're building their fitness levels up now, and it's up to them to gain their places back on the team, you know.
And how is Kieran Bennis? I know he missed the Westmeath game. Is he a more long-term concern?
He would be, yeah. Kieran has an issue, all right, that is probably going to be 2 or 3 weeks further down the road. So, you know, again, he's training away within the constraints of the injury. So, you know, but he's there every night and he's working hard, you know, with what he can do. So, look, that's you know, it's the nature of the business this time of the year. We're training very hard, so you're picking up injuries, and it's just a case of trying to nurse guys back as quickly as possible. But, you know, keeping all medical advice with that as well. So, you know, like it's a work in progress at the moment.
And as a management team, Stephen, are you kind of looking to kind of replicate the kind of attitude and the work rate you showed against Cork for this game on Sunday? Yeah,
well, that's a given, to be quite honest. Like that's we'd like to think that should be the norm. Like that's nothing above and beyond what we're about, really. You know, as a management team, and that of what we're asking of the players. You know, that work rate has to be there every day. Some days maybe your hurling mightn't be up to it, or you might have a bad day, but we expect that's a standard. That's the minimal standard, that the work rate is always there, because, you know, as I said, you can have an off day with the hurley and with stick work and with your touch, but we have to have players on the field that are going to work their asses off. Excuse the expression.
Yeah, absolutely. And like probably the other big positive from the two games so far, Stephen, is how the rookies Irla Daly, Neil Montgomery and Jack Fagan have settled into senior level thus far.
Yeah, look, they've been fantastic, and as I said, they're the men in possession, so someone's got to come and take a jersey off them, and they've been fantastic, and they've taken on the challenge, and they're good young guys, and really that's what we really need in Waterford, and look, that's what every team needs, is for a few new players to come in every year and new guys to come in and challenge the guys that are maybe the so-called household names, and put them under a little bit of pressure. And, well, you know, it's all about each player getting the best out of the guy beside him, you know, and that's what, you know, that's what Kilkenny had, you know, when they were winning in the noughties and the 90s, and you know, everybody tries to replicate that, and that's what we're trying to do at the moment, is build up a good strong panel where you know, if we have injuries, that someone will step in there and it won't weaken the team. That's really what it's all about. And
is it important to keep winning matches on home turf ahead of the two big Munster games coming in the summer?
Absolutely. Look, you know, I mean, it's a cliche, I know that, but you know, we go out to, you know, we want to develop, as I said, a bigger panel, but we're going out to win every single match. That's very important, because, you know, winning breeds winning as well. Like, and you get into a habit of winning, and it's really important, particularly at home in front of your own people as well. Like, and we want to create Welsh Park as being a real fortress for us. It's so important these days, because you've got home championship matches, which you didn't have in the past. So it's very important that we have a big crowd, and a big partisan crowd. You know, like we need it to be a hostile atmosphere for any visiting team to come down to Welsh Park and absolutely hate it when the home crowd are roaring and screaming on their own team. And for that to happen, we've got to give that crowd something to roar and scream about, and be happy and be thrilled with the performance of the players, and for them to see the hard work rate that's going on the pitch. Like, you know, there was a kind of comments there, you know, recently about, you know, that the team wasn't getting support from the crowds maybe last year, but, you know, we feel we've got to earn that support as well and give them something to shout about, and that's what we're about.
And on a personal level, Stephen, what's your experience been like as a selector under Liam Cahill so far?
It's been very enjoyable. Like, it's really top class, and look, that's down to the management team, and it's down to the players as well. Like, the players have really put their shoulders to the wheel, and I think they're enjoying it, and because it comes across that way, like they're really putting in a really hard shift. Every single training session it's tough. We're doing a lot of hard stuff at the moment, and there's nobody kind of wilting. There's nobody, you know, shying away from it, and they're all willing to really put in a big effort, and so from that point of view, it's very enjoyable, and you know, they're the kind of, I suppose their idea of the game is similar to the way I would see it. So, you know, that helps as well. Like, we're as a management team, we all think about the game the same way, and we have the same ideas about how it should be done. So, you know, that helps. There's not too many fights anyway so far.
Yeah. Why did you decide to sign up as a selector this year, Stephen? Can you maybe explain that for us?
I suppose I was asked. Like, I was part of the committee that chose the management and interviewed people for the job at the time, and my job was done at that stage, really, and I was off to maybe train a team in Ballygunner or whatever this year, but probably about 4 weeks later, I just got a phone call from the county board, from Sean Michael O'Regan, and Liam had asked about me being or he requested, or he would to know would I be interested in taking on the role as a selector to help out. So, look, I had a chat with Liam, and look, it was apparent, like, that's, you know, I find that very important, that, you know, you're working with people that maybe think of the game and the way it should be played, and the kind of attitude, the way that I would see it. So it kind of came a bit of a surprise, to be quite honest. My work had been done on the county board committee, but so I said absolutely, I'd love to to be involved and try and maybe contribute something to, you know, Waterford getting back to where I believe we should be.
What impressed you about Liam Cahill when he stood before you when you were part of that selection committee, Stephen?
I suppose Liam and Mikey were you know, part of. They came as a team themselves. Mikey Beavens as coach and Liam as manager, and look, there was there's no rocket science to it, really, to be quite honest. It's very, very simple, very much based around really hard work rate. You know, you can talk about tactics till the cows come home, really, but it's all about work rate and having the right kind of character of player there, that, you know, that there's going to be no shirking of responsibility when it really means most in the heat of championship battle, like, and that's what we were, you know, striving to get, is 25 of those players, and look, Liam and Mikey, it's very, very simple. It's just hard work rate, and, you know, we talk about tactics and hurling and all that, but that's really all it's about. Is there's nothing special to it, really.
And just finally, Stephen, what was your record like against Galway over the years as a player when you came across them?
Yeah, we've never. I think Waterford in general. I know obviously there's the loss to him a couple of years ago, the big loss, unfortunately. But up to then, we didn't have a bad record against Galway, to be honest. You know, I remember in my own playing times, even in 1998, we played him in an All Ireland quarter final and really weren't given a chance against them. But they you know, we won. Well, when I say comfortably, maybe 5 or 6 points, I think.
More even. I think 10 points.
Was it?
Yeah.
in an All-Ireland quarter-final and they didn't turn up, and that has happened a few times. But Galway are that type of team, I think, anyway, or that they seem to have been over the years. Like there's no middle ground there. They're either very, very hot and a top team. Obviously, they won the All-Ireland, or they're just mediocre, the same as everybody else after that. There's no middle ground there at all. So hopefully that's the way they'll be on Sunday. But I don't think we have the same in championship terms. I don't think it's kind of hard to gauge where Galway are every year, really, and everybody has a question mark over which Galway are going to turn up every year, and that's not just in Waterford. Every county is the same. There's always a question mark over Galway. So look, I think with the new management they have this year, they'll probably get a bit of a bounce off that. Like Shane O'Neill is a very astute manager, and he's done very well with his own club team in the Páirce in Limerick.
Yeah, I'm sure you played against him over the years as well. You started that Limerick team in the 90s.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so like they'll get a bounce from Shane this year, and hopefully it won't happen on Sunday, and maybe we'll see him later on in the year. Hopefully we will. But they're a top team and they're a very big, strong, physical team, so that helps this time of the year as well. So we'll see how it goes on Sunday.
Stephen, thanks a million for your time this evening, and all the best in Welsh Park on Sunday.
Okay, thanks very much, Tomas.
Blue and white. We are blue and white. We are WLR.
It's competition time on Lorna Páirce. 2 pairs of passes to Waterford versus Galway at Welsh Park on Sunday up for grabs. This is a text-only competition. Who was the Waterford hurling captain for 2020? Text your answer and name to 083 3333 975. Who is the Waterford hurling captain for 2020? The competition closes at midday on Saturday, and winners will be revealed on the Ball here on WLR.
We are WLR.
We are Ireland's local station of the year.